welcome to the VAR Room on Westman Studios. And then we are here talking the UCL again. I think over the weekend, a few days back, we previewed the upcoming games. And then after the first round of games, we had some shockers in there. How can you think that Arsenal were going to whitewash Real Madrid and give them a whooping 3-0? We've seen Barca beat Dortmund 4-0. We've seen Inter Milan go to the Allianz Arena and then beat Bayern 2-1. And then, of course, PSG coming home with a 3-1 victory over Aston Villa. So I've got Kwabna Mafu here. My name is Christina Bilani, and we are discussing the UCL games. Kwabna, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Charlie,
you.
I mean, what's your first impression about so far the first round of quarterfinal games and how it's been? What do you think of the games?
The games were very interesting, and as I predicted in the preview game, I was like, Arsenal will win.
Of course.
PSG will win.
Of course.
Barcelona will win.
Of course.
And Inter will win.
Yeah.
And all four teams also won.
All four teams won. And let's start off with the Bayern Munich game. What do you think Inter did right?
They just made sure. So with Simeone Inzaghi, you could see clearly that when he's playing, he always has these two flat strikers.
Yeah.
He always wants to use a center forward, two flat center forward. That is Thuram and Lautaro Martinez. There are even instances that he uses Marko Arnautovic and Thuram.
Yeah.
So he always wants to have at least two top strikers in his team.
Of course, his formation is 3-5-2 predominantly. That's what he plays. So
and the 3-5-2 mostly that I mostly see, he makes sure the five midfielders, there's one who is very good in crossing, one very good in tackling, one very good operating offensively, one very good also operating defensively. So he has to get with the five.
It's like he has a very good balance of everything when it comes to like the five within the middle.
Yes.
Yeah. So you think the midfield won the game for Bayern Munich?
Yeah, they won the game for Inter.
Sorry, Inter.
They won the game for Inter, and the assist from Thuram was superb.
It was orgasmic.
And the goal from Lautaro Martinez too was just super.
Yeah, excellent. Talk to me about Simeone Inzaghi, because we've seen other coaches play the 3-back system, but it looks like Inzaghi has taken it to like a whole new level altogether.
Yes.
Like, what is special about his 3-5-2, or some people will say maybe 5-3-2, depending on whichever way that you look at it?
So with Inzaghi, whenever he's playing, he makes sure the center. So mostly he mostly has 3 center backs.
Yeah.
Yes, and with the center back, at least one of the center backs should be very good offensively.
And that in this case, that is Bastoni.
Bastoni,
right?
yes. So when Bastoni is playing, you could see clearly that he moves forward a lot. That helps the midfield. So sometimes in the game, you could see critically, Inter Milan are just playing 2 defenders. And they are playing 6 midfielders.
6 midfielders. That's Bastoni coming into
the midfield to help the midfielders when they are attacking. But when they are defending, they play as a 5-back.
Yeah.
So mostly with Simeone Inzaghi, the kind of system that he's playing with Inter is so good.
Don't worry. I mean, we'll take time and then we'll analyze Simeone Inzaghi very soon. We've got so many different segments coming on the VAR Room. You have to stay with us. So you think that, is that game done for you? Inter versus Bayern, is that game done? Like in the second leg, do you think Bayern can do any comeback?
I don't think so, because this is an Inter Milan team that hardly concedes. And we are going to the San Siro. And looking at things, it's going to be very difficult for Bayern to even get a goal. So I just feel Inter is true to the semi-final.
Yeah, it's done. Okay, Inter is true. Now let's talk about the PSG game. Of course, we'll discuss Barca and then Real Madrid extensively. But PSG conceded their first goal, but they came back to win 3-1. And when you look at the statistics of the game, it was more or less like an attack versus defense kind of.
So it was Emiliano Martinez versus PSG. Because the goalkeeper made 8 good saves in a game.
8 saves?
Yes.
And they had in excess of about like 20 shots.
Yes.
PSG played about. It was like complete domination from PSG.
From start to end. And when the goal came as a shock to PSG. They weren't expecting that, because in the game, PSG has been dominating throughout the game, and out of nowhere, Morgan Rogers just scored for Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So the good thing that helped them was that they had the equalizer just in the first half. I'm sure if they were to be down 1-0, it would have worried them going into the
second half.
Yes, so they just made sure they equalized in the first half, and that was it for them.
But Kwabena, you realize that PSG have such like a very young squad, like fresh blood, like we discussed the other time. It's like it be new team way Enrique they built. But it looks like they have found some bit of resilience because remember, even in the round of 16, for example, they were beaten by Liverpool in the first leg.
Yeah.
But still they went to the almighty Anfield
yeah.
and got a result and eliminated them.
Yeah.
Today too, they've come back conceding the first goal and they still come back to win 3-1. Do you see them going all the way? Like, you see, say PSG, do they have what it takes to go all the way? Looking at how they are playing currently,
With what Enrique is doing with PSG, I just feel they will do it well because Enrique has this experience, the experience that he had with Barcelona.
of course,
Yes.
he won the
he won
treble
the Champions League in
Yeah.
2015 with Barcelona.
Yeah.
And you could see clearly that is what he's doing to PSG. He has created a different mentality on the PSG players, and you could see clearly that they are really improving very well. Game by game, you see a different PSG team, and that is very good
building
for them.
their confidence
Yes.
as they are going on
Yes.
board. But let's look at Villa. Were you surprised by how Emery approached the game? Because as we spied the game, you go see like there was a point where it was like you were playing like six back.
Yeah, so it was at a point you could see they were playing 6-3-1, which was so bad. And even with the one striker, he was even
Isolated from the game.
From the game, and you could see clearly he wasn't even part of the game. He needs to rather come back to get the ball,
to get service,
and you could see clearly that the goal they even had. That's why I said the goal they even had was out of nowhere, and they had a goal.
But can we say is it more of like a bad approach from Emery? Because I think say because of you say like PSG be an ultra attacking team, so maybe not the best thing for BC. They go play low block, defend, maybe get his one goal like he did, and then maybe take the lead back to Villa where it is his home. He go play like a normal game, but going to the Parc des Princes and playing like as high as even 6-3-1. Do you think it was just a bad like approach from Emery, or it was just a way to counter like PSG?
No, I just feel it was a bad approach. Fortunately, he had the first goal, so to get more goals, just open the game because PSG wants a goal. PSG wants to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So since they've opened the game, you should also go in to just tackle them and play your best. Because I know someone like Morgan Rogers is very good as a number 10.
Very good player.
Yes.
Like very, very good ball career, excellent strength.
McGinn, also very good.
Very good.
And Rashford has the experience.
He has a piece as well.
That is it. So I think he should have just opened the game and play his football. He playing defensively didn't help the team.
So that is it also done for you, like in that time?
PSG to qualify.
PSG to qualify in that time.
Yes.
Okay, of course. I mean, viewers, we'll take time and then look at the second legs as and when it comes. But talk to me about Barca and then Dortmund. This game, I'm watching the game. I was telling you off air that it's men versus boys, because I'm surprised that Dortmund seems to lack quality. It looks like the Dortmund of all that we have seen. The Lewandowski Dortmund, then Blaszczykowski Dortmund, Marco Reus Dortmund, even Jude Bellingham, Aubameyang. Then it looks like when you look at the current team, it looks so ordinary. And coming against Barca, of course, you guys didn't give them any dog chance, which many people didn't. But they were so appalling. Was it a case of Barca being too good or Dortmund being too bad?
Dortmund were bad, and I feel like a player like Karim Adeyemi and most of their wingers are not using their, how should I put it, but how they are very good.
You mean the coach is not really platforming the players well?
One, and also the players are not really also using their strength. Some of them have a lot of pace that they could use when they are playing.
To hit Barca's high line.
And they are not doing that because when Barca is playing, you see clearly that Balde, left back, Koundé, right back, mostly move forward.
Yeah.
So it's mostly left with Martinez and Kubasi.
Yeah.
So that is when, as a good team, you are able to counter them very well. But with Dortmund, you could see clearly that they didn't get that chance. Guirassy too on the day in the first half, he had some chances, but in the second half, he was totally off.
Not back on that. Don't you think it's just a bit of the coach? Like, for example, is it not Niko Kovac just instructing his players to play according to how they play, and not just maybe the players not maximizing their strength? Because, like, as we were watching the game, I was telling you that Barca look very light in midfield. By light, I mean that they were not pressing too well, and then the midfield was so lightweight. There was no physicality in the team. So, and of course, their high line was also there. So it was not just a case of the Dortmund coach, that's Niko Kovac, not telling the boys to maybe play according to this instruction and use their pace to hurt Barca. But it was not just the players playing to the coach's instruction.
No, so you could see clearly the Barcelona players played better than Dortmund, and it got to a point Barcelona were playing 4-1-5, so 5 attackers.
Mm-hmm.
So with the 5 attackers, the Dortmund defenders were so bad. Emre Can totally off, like the right back also totally off, and they were struggling. They were struggling to even string 5 or 6 passes together. And when Barca gets the ball, that's why I'm always saying a player like Karim Adeyemi can use his space to just hit
Barca.
When Barca has the ball, you see what Lamine Yamal does.
Yeah.
You see what Rafinha does.
You see what Lewandowski does.
That is it. You Fermin Lopez, Pedri. They have the speed. They have the pace. So that is what they know, and that's what they used to hurt you. And that is what Barcelona did today.
Barca have a lot of stars. Yeah, Barca this season has been probably, arguably, maybe the best team in the world, especially in 2025. They are unbeaten now. Going into the second leg, and then what are the chances of Barca going? It looks like Barca have gone through already. But going forward, do you see Barca also like going all the way to the final?
For Barcelona, it will be very difficult because if they qualify this tie, they will meet Inter Milan.
And that game is going to be a cracker.
And with how Inter is playing so well this season, it's going to be very difficult for you to say Barcelona is going to beat Inter Milan so easily. Because this is an Inter Milan side that hardly concedes
goals.
And this is a Barcelona side that scores a lot of goals. So this is a game that we'll see the best defense versus the best attack. Yes.
Now, finally on the Barca game, I want us to look at Lewandowski. The Barca people call him Lewandowski. Throughout his career, he's been scoring goals, but at age 36, he's scored his 40th, 39th, and then 40th goal against Borussia Dortmund. It looks like he's aging like fine wine. He gets better as he ages. What is so special about Lewandowski? And then looking at strikers that have played the UEFA Champions League, where are you going to put Lewandowski? Your top 3, maybe top 5, maybe. Like, I want you to talk to me about Lewandowski because I think he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's superb.
Yeah.
Probably in our generation, arguably he's the best striker to ever play in our generation.
So there's something I always say. If you're a good player and you're growing up, through your experience, you play better. Let me use an example. Someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. He's 40 years.
But he's still
banging in the goals for Al Nassr. But someone will be like, he's playing in Saudi Arabia, but he's still playing.
But Benzema is also in Saudi Arabia, but he's not scoring.
He's not scoring
Ronaldo.
like that is it. Messi at Inter Miami is also playing well for Inter Miami. So when you're a player and you've been a good striker, you just need to use your experience. When Lewandowski is playing, you could see very well that he doesn't use a lot of his energy. Because he knows
of course, yes. The supporting cast behind him is very good. He has Yamal, he has Rafinha.
So he doesn't need to do a lot of runs.
Yeah.
Because of his age. So he knows very well that he will get most of the assists or most of the...
he'll get the service
from most of the wingers and also the number 10. So with Lewandowski, he's playing so well. For Lewa, I'll put him as part of my top 5 strikers in the UCL.
Is it currently or all time?
Currently,
yeah. Top 5 strikers.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, let's focus a lot more attention on Real Madrid. I know you guys spoke extensively about Real Madrid and then how they are the bosom team and how they are the Inshallah team and how whatever it is Madrid they are going to progress. We'll talk about their progression, but what went wrong for Madrid? Like what went? Because it was unthinkable for Madrid to lose 3-0 against a team like Arsenal. But there are people also who think that when you look at Madrid, when you watch Madrid, or you are patron of Madrid games this season, you will say it was a defeat coming because Barca had shown how to beat Madrid. But when you put all this together, what went wrong for Madrid before we come to what maybe Arteta did right?
Arteta was brilliant than Ancelotti in that game. When Real Madrid is playing and they put out a lineup and they want to play a 4-4-2, they are static to it. They don't change anything in the game. That is the way they play. As a coach and as players, when you even put out a 4-4-2 formation, in the game you need to change. When things are going wrong or things are very hard, it's the way you change things to make you win.
Mafo, relax. So are you saying Ancelotti is like, he's an archaic coach? If the way they talk, it be like say he go talk Vinicius, then Mbappe say, Charlie, you get the ball, make you just take around. That be what the
Real Madrid are just using individual brilliance to just play. Yeah, because you could see clearly that when they are playing, the coach's hands are not really on it.
You can't see Ancelotti's footprint or thumbprint or imprint on the team.
No.
But that's the same way he's used to win. He won the UCL last season, maybe last 2 seasons.
No, it's because of how good they are. That's why I said it's because of how good their players are. Because last season like this, Vinicius was in top form.
Yeah.
So because of he was in top form like this, it's so hard for you to beat him, and that was what he did.
But I also think that Madrid lacks structure when they are playing. You realize that, like you say, modern football, you realize that we have what we call the in possession and then out of possession structure. So like you mentioned, a team will line up maybe 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Realize that when they are building up maybe in a 4-1-5 formation. They are building up in a 3-2-5 formation. That is their attacking principles or their in possession structure. And then out of possession, maybe they can choose to either high press like Barca do. They can either do a mid block. Usually Newcastle will do that against the big teams, or they can go man to man. Arteta applies that a lot, or they can do zonal marking where they press maybe in a 4-4-2, or they do in a 4-4-2, or they can even certain teams press like Brentford. They press in a 4-2-4 formation. But I get a feeling that when Madrid are playing, it's like there is no structure.
Yeah.
Like you are saying, it's more like the quality of the players should do the game, to do the magic for them.
Yeah.
They seem to lack an identity. So they don't have any positional play. They are looking at the relationship that players build. And I feel that is the problem of Real Madrid.
Yes.
Again, when you look at Real Madrid and their structure again, you realize that when Madrid are even trying to press, you see that they have a lot of luxury players. And those luxury players, I'm talking of Vinicius and then Mbappe. These are players who are so poor out of possession. They are not good at pressing. All they, like we are saying, is inshallah and them vibes.
Yeah.
Give me the ball and I will do. If I lose the ball, you see Vinicius
walking
inside.
And Mbappe also walking. There's nothing
at stake. Yeah. And again, when you look at the game, for instance, you realize that Ancelotti was playing with this guy, Modric, who is like 39 or whatever. He was playing against Camavinga. Now you get these players, and we'll come to Arteta, but you realize that Madrid's pressing is so poor. They don't have any identity when they are pressing. It's like they are more, like we've reiterated, they are more interested in the individual possession game. And I feel like that is one of the problems of Real Madrid. And so this defeat, and I agree with so many people that this defeat was coming. And of course, Madrid has the chance because it's the Champions League, and then going to the Bernabeu, it looks like they will do something right and they may qualify. But any good coach can beat Madrid.
Yes.
Any good coach can look at the weaknesses of Real Madrid and then beat them. So I don't know, but let's talk about Arteta. I was telling people that you were being so unfair on Arteta, and though I do not like Arsenal, I was so happy they beat Real Madrid. Has Arteta not proven to you people that he's a good coach? What he has done,
he still needs a lot of time.
What time again?
Oh no, he still needs some time.
No. What time does he need?
He still needs some time.
No, I think on the day he got it right. He got it
right.
Let's talk about Arteta.
So for this game,
it
was in 3 folds. The first one was the match stats, the tactical aspect of the game, and how the 3 goals came by. The match stats, you could see clearly that Arsenal outplayed.
They outplayed Real Madrid.
12 shots, 11 on target. 9 shots, 3 on target for Real Madrid. And in the second half, Real Madrid had just 1 shot on target. And Arsenal had 11 shots on target out of the 12.
Yeah, and I mean, the stats also tell us that even Arsenal missed 2 big chances.
Yes.
And it clearly shows you that if Arsenal were clinical enough, they should have scored more.
So this will come back to what I said previously. If Arsenal had signed a striker in January, they would have scored Real Madrid by like 6 goals.
Yes. Can also say Yebesha Madrid
Or like
Toto.
you to have been
Toto
6 goals.
season.
Because in the first half, you could see clearly that because Arsenal were lacking a number 9, a proper number 9. Whenever Saka that's his cutting, they were struggling to even get someone
presence in the
at
box.
the number in the box. So they were struggling a lot. But if Arsenal had signed a striker in January, they would have scored at Real Madrid by 6 goals. And
all right.
Apart from the match stats, Arsenal outplayed Real Madrid. When it comes to the tactical aspect of the game, on paper, Arsenal played a 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah.
Yes. But in the game, Arsenal played a 3-2-3-2 formation.
3-2-3-2 formation.
formation.
Talk to me about 3-2-3-2 formation.
So, Luis Kelly played as an invented fullback to help Partey in the holding midfield role.
Yeah.
And
so that means that leaves Timber, Saliba, and then Kyrgios as the 3 centre backs.
So yesterday, Timber played as a RCB,
yes,
a right centre back.
Yeah.
And
Saliba as a CCB, and then Kyrgios as a LCB.
Thank you. And the 2 holding midfielders were Skelly and Partey.
Because Skelly had inverted from like left back into the middle.
And the 3 midfielders were Merino. Merino played as a 9.5 yesterday.
9.5.
Yeah, he played as a Joshua Zexi. Yeah, he played as a Joshua Zexi yesterday.
It was a sexy Merino.
So Merino, then Declan Rice, then Odegaard.
Okay.
Then the 2 wingers of Martinelli and Saka. So they didn't have anyone at the box. That was why in the first half, even in the second half, there were instances that Arsenal would get some chances. When they have to cut in, there's no player in the 18-yard box. So they just played this role, and Merino has to go to the Real Madrid, how should I put it, the defense line to try to attack, and also go back to also defend for Arsenal. So in the first half, there was a lot of pressure on the left-hand side of defense for Arsenal, and a lot of isolation in the right-hand side because of Saka
and then Alaba.
Alaba, this thing was
brilliant.
so good.
He skinned Alaba alive.
Yes.
Like he took him to the cleanest.
So in the second half, for that, when Ancelotti saw Alaba was suffering and was struggling a bit, he moved Bellingham to the left position
Jude
to help Alaba.
Yeah.
But Jude was like, Charlie, you can't tell me what to do.
I'm fine.
Because Jude got to a point, Jude wasn't even playing what Ancelotti told him to play.
It comes back to the points that we've been making about Madrid lacking some bit of structure and identity.
Yes.
And Ancelotti even made the point about the fact that they have struggled to be compact this season.
Yes.
So there are certain players, that's why I said Madrid seem to carry a lot of luxury players, because these are players when you give them instruction to tell them what to do, especially out of possession. These players do not want to do the out of possession. They don't want to do the dirty work.
That is it.
Yeah, so you flow on the bit about how, Saka...
Okay, so Saka played so well at the right-hand side of attack for Arsenal. And the left-hand side, Martinelli, it was a bit difficult for him, but he did well. He did his best.
Of course, he came up against Valverde.
Yes,
actually,
he did his best. Luis Kelly. Last time I came here and I spoke a lot about this
him.
player.
Yeah, that kid is so good. Like,
he's a young player that has a lot of physicality. He uses his shoulders a lot. And as a player, when you use your shoulders a lot, it helps you a lot because you win a lot of good free kicks that helps the team.
And he's a good ball carrier too. Like, he's able to carry the ball even from defense into midfield.
He was playing as a DM helping Partey, but you could see clearly that he got to a point he was moving forward to just get some
the half spaces,
get into the 18-yard box of Real Madrid to at least get some chance to even score or assist. And he even assisted Mikel Merino's goal.
Yeah.
So you could see clearly that he was playing so well at that side.
So in the nutshell, like, Atata got it right.
Yes. And I just want to talk about Partey.
Thomas Partey. Or Chepas,
Partey is one player, when he's not in the team, you see it. Because Arsenal doesn't have this kind of player that will be able to control. Partey is so calm. When Partey is playing, Declan Rice is not calm like that.
Okay, Marfu, so yes, I like the point you have just made. Between Partey and Declan Rice, who is the better number 6? I'm talking of the DM position.
It's Partey.
Why do you think it's Partey?
Partey, because some will say I'm being biased because I'm a Ghanaian, but no. It's Partey because when Partey plays as a number 6, there's some kind of calmness. He's able to instruct the midfielder so well.
Controls the tempo of the game. Like, the game flows through him.
and it lets the players know where they should go and where he has to give the passes.
So Partey will get the ball. Martinelli, move here.
Move here.
Yeah,
And
he'll
before
get
he
the ball.
even
Saka.
and before he even gets the ball, the players have already moved. They know where
He's going to place
give. But for Declan Rice, sometimes you could see there's a bit of pressure on him. Partey will even get two players even trying to get the ball from him. But the way and manner Partey will just be calm on the ball and just give some accurate passes to whoever he sees. That is one good thing about Partey. So Partey in this game, he played so well. He played so well that I hope that in the second leg, Arteta will not be a Pep Guardiola overthinking too much. That is it.
Okay. Now, before we go on and maybe find out what Arsenal's prospects of going through, I also want to mention something that, you see, I think Arteta did brilliantly well, because when you look at the starting 11 of Arsenal against Real Madrid, you realize that there were only 3 offensive-minded players.
Yeah.
Let me use that word. So you realize that there was only Odegaard, who is an attacking midfielder by trade.
Martinelli,
who is a winger by orientation, maybe striker converted to a winger by orientation, and then Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
But see how he was able to dominate Real Madrid. Again, that's where I make the point about Arteta has been able to find a structure, and despite having about 7 defensive-minded players in his starting 11, still go to, attack Real Madrid and then dominate them. And it tells you that, of course, I keep telling people that we have been unfair to Arteta, and there have been, in the past times, I've skinned and grilled and I don't know, like schooled, and then I've said a lot of things about Arteta, but I think the man deserves his flowers.
Sorry to cut you. Yesterday, there was one good thing he did. You see, when Timber is playing for Arsenal, even in the Premier League, he does a lot of attacking football. He mostly moves forward a lot because he knows that, at least you get a player to cover him. But for Real Madrid, he knows how strong and how stubborn Real Madrid are. Yesterday, he didn't do a lot of the runs moving forward to at least get some crosses and things. He sticked and made sure that Vinicius Junior doesn't get his day.
That was almost the point that I was coming to say that Arteta, knowing very well the Madrid's strength was in attack, he made sure that he brought in these defending-minded players to, 1, give him that structure and compactness, 2, win the duels, and then 3, like I've said, because Madrid are so poor, and even the 11 that Ancelotti chose was not so strong, the players could win the duels, win the ball high the pitch, and then spring and attack.
And even when Real Madrid is playing always, they are very good on the left-hand side of attack. If you've noticed Real Madrid's goals and most of the attack, Vinicius or Mbappe, they are very good in the left-hand side of attack. So when you're able to stop that left-hand side of attack, that's Real Madrid will be doing.
You are able to
because Rodrigo is good. Yesterday, there was one thing they made Rodrigo do, but he got tired. They made sure Rodrigo should be chasing Skelly. But he got to a point.
Skelly is so good.
Skelly saw that Rodrigo was just on him. So he got to a point. Skelly would just move forward, and Rodrigo doesn't know what to do next. And it got to a point they had to attack. And in the game yesterday, you could even see clearly. It got to a point Odegaard was even playing as a number 10. So yesterday there was like a lot of things that Arteta did right that we really need to applaud him for that.
And again, he also makes the point about Arteta also, despite the structure, there's a bit of fluidity to how Arsenal plays.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned, though Luis Kelly is starting as a left back, you see him at one point invert into midfield. At a point, he's into the half space. Again, Declan Rice, who is a DM by trade, you can see him playing as a number 8, getting into the half space, and then, oh my God, those free kicks he scored. Like using his ball striking and his ability to win the ball up the field to make the rounds.
Very confident.
Very, very confident in the play. So I think Arteta got it right, but despite Arteta getting it right, do you think that Madrid are out, or you think Madrid has a chance to go through at the Santiago Bernabeu?
This is very difficult. For Real Madrid, I can't say they are totally out because of how good they are in the Champions League.
Especially at home.
Yes. There are days that they can just put up a very good performance. There are days that they don't put up good performances. But at home, they are very dangerous. What Arsenal needs to avoid in the second leg is that in the first 30 minutes, they shouldn't concede a goal. If Arsenal concedes a goal in the first 30 minutes at Santiago Bernabeu, I'm sure we'll end the game 4-0 against Arsenal. So Arsenal should just avoid any goal from Real Madrid in the first 30 minutes. In the first half, it's 0-0. Real Madrid 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal is true. There's no way Arsenal will just sit down for Real Madrid to score them 3 goals in the second half. They will defend very well, and they have to defend and play their football.
Well, I agree with you because you see, in the Champions League, the reason why I think Arsenal, some people say Arsenal fans are jubilating. I agree with them because of the fact that historical antecedents in the Champions League proves that even when you beat certain teams, even 3-0, you should not overjubilate. And there's a point I keep making about there is a certain spirit behind the Champions, there's a certain aura, and there's a certain history about the Champions League. So you realize that PSG beat Barca 4-1, I think in
4-0.
No, it was 4-1. It was 4-1. It was 4-0.
It was 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah.
And they came back to 4-0.
4-0, and
they had an away goal.
Yes.
And then still Barca
6-1.
Scored 6 goals to take them out.
And also
You have seen
Barcelona Liverpool.
beating Liverpool 3-0 at home and then going away at Anfield to lose 4-0. We have seen teams like even Chelsea beating PSG 2-0 after they have gone to lose 3-1. Chelsea beating Napoli 4-1 after they have gone to win. There are so many instances in the Champions League that certain teams, because of the aura, because of the history that they have, you do not just count them out. So I think that it's going to be difficult, yes, for Real Madrid. But let me push you to the wall. Do you see Madrid qualifying?
Difficult.
Do you see Madrid? I want to push you to the wall. Do you see Madrid qualifying?
This is very difficult to tell, but Madrid can pull a surprise.
Madrid can pull a surprise.
Yes, they can pull a surprise.
Can Madrid take it to penalties?
Likely
That Madrid will take it to penalties.
And when they take it to penalties, this will be Madrid will qualify.
Madrid will qualify.
Yes.
So,
as I said, Arsenal should just avoid Madrid scoring a goal in the first 30 minutes of the game.
There are people who are saying that Arteta should go and build a whole new wall of Jericho at the
Haram
Bernabeu.
football?
Yes.
No, he shouldn't play that.
It should turn into prime Mourinho.
If he does that, you see what Aston Villa did today against PSG. I'm sure the same thing might happen. So they should just make them play their ball. They should feel free. It shouldn't be. I know it shouldn't be more attacking minded. No, he's leading 3-0, so he should just try his best to defend a bit. But at least you should have some good attacking players that you can just put them on a counter. They will be so good. Their runs are so good, and they'll be good to go.
Come on, let's complete with this. After yesterday's game, Rice obviously scored 2 goals, and then he's the man of the match. But I've heard people, cook up certain debates, especially on Twitter, about the fact that right now, currently, and when we look at the history of football, if you're counting some of the greatest DMs to have ever played a football, we should count Declan Rice as to be one of them. So they're comparing Rice to players like Prime Sergio Busquets, Prime Casemiro. I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you think,
as a DM,
do you think we should start rating Rice in that?
He has not gotten to that level at all.
No, but
he has not got to the. Let me tell you, even Thomas Partey has not even gotten to Thomas Partey's level now.
Oh, Marvel.
Oh no, it's true. He has not got to that level.
Rice,
he's a good player, no doubt about that.
Rice is not at the level of Thomas Partey.
Partey is better than Rice as a DM. I've said it. Thomas Partey is a better DM
currently. Thomas Partey is a better DM than Rice. So if they Partey self in level,
how can you compare him to Busquets? No, you've just gone overboard.
No, but you see, my problem with even that debate is that if the Arsenal fans who are making those arguments are basing even on the fact that Rice scored 2 goals against Real Madrid. Against Real Madrid in the crowd, he didn't play even as a 6.
No.
He played as an 8. He didn't play as a defensive midfield. He played as an offensive number 8.
Number 8.
Center midfield.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of my problems with debate on social media when it comes to football. I think a lot of people do not actually look at what the players do. I think they just look at the surface level.
And even there's one thing that I always say, it should be consistency.
Okay, that one. So that is also there.
Yeah. So if Declan Rice plays better today, the next day he doesn't play well, you can't just compare him to Sergio Busquets or something. Sergio Busquets was consistent
over a period.
Yes, he was playing so well throughout.
Winning the World
Declan
Cup,
Rice will play
winning
better
UCLs.
Today. There are some matches Declan Rice will not play better. I'm not saying Declan Rice is a bad player. No, I won't sit here and say Declan Rice is a bad. He's a good player.
But Declan
Rice. About that.
Yeah, but I think that people who are they should calm down. The Arsenal fans should calm down.
No, you see, the Arsenal fans are so happy. I understand them, but they should know that this Real Madrid side, someone will say they are the giants in Europe, But
15
Real
time
Madrid,
winners.
Real Madrid have never scored a goal against Arsenal
Well, that is also true.
in 3 games.
In 3
now,
games.
Real Madrid have never scored a goal against Arsenal. Arsenal have now scored 4 goals against Real Madrid.
Declan Rice had never scored a free kick in his career until he met Real Madrid, and
Yes.
then he scored 2. So you don't know what will happen. I mean, come the Bernabeu. So guys, these are our thoughts on the UCL games. We don't know what you think. So just hit us in the comment section. Let us know what you think, especially the teams that are going through. Let me put Mafu on the spot. So now, which teams are going through
So Inter.
after the first round of games?
So we'll have a Barcelona Inter semi-final and a PSG Real Madrid.
I'm not sure the Arsenal fans are going to be happy.
PSG Real Madrid
All right.
semi-final game.
So guys, that's what Mafu think. I'm keeping my cards on my chest. I think PSG is true. I think Barca
Barcelona
is
is
true.
true.
The rest of the games,
You are not sure about Inter?
I'm not too sure about Inter.
They can just mess up and Bayern can get a away goal, a 1 goal, and to go straight to extra
I
and
think
penalties.
of all the games, that is the closest game that is left. People are writing off Bayern Munich, but let's see what
I don't
happens.
see anything positive company is doing at the team.
That's Marfo's thought. I don't know what you think. So there's the VAR room on Westman Studios, and these are our thoughts on the UCL games. You come your way another time, stay with us. We want you to do one thing for us: like, comment, share, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel. Hit on the notification button, and then trust us to come here another time. It's a bye from us.
Yeah.